Hi guys, and welcome back to another predictions video. And this week, because there's no Premier League football, we are doing the NFL playoff bracket for the 2020-2021 season. Now, I don't profess to know a lot about American football. I do follow it now and again. Most weekends, watch a game or two, but I'm no expert. Nathan, what are your overall thoughts of the NFL this season before we get into the predictions?
Well, I've been trying my best to follow it this season, but I'd say it's been a pretty lively one. A few shocks here and there, but
do either of us think the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl for the 2021 season? Let's find out.
Okay, so first up we're going to start with the AFC, and then we're going to go the wild card of the AFC, then the wild card of the NFC, then vice versa, flicking back and forth between both conferences. Now, first up we're going to have the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, now the Titans, no Super Bowls in their history, but they have won 2 championships. I believe their last appearance in the Super Bowl was all the way back in 1999. Mark Vrabel is heading to the playoffs for the second time in his 3 seasons in charge of the Titans, having left his post as a defensive coordinator at the Houston Texans. Derrick Henry is by far the one of the Titans' standout players. The bulldozer of a player became the 8th player to rush for 2,000 yards in the season on Sunday as he reeled off the 223 needed to hit the milestone. Very impressive, that stat, finishing with 250 for 2 touchdowns in the Titans' win over the Texans. In doing so, he also became the first player to lead the NFL in rushing yards over the 2 straight seasons since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006-07. Other important players include Ryan Tannehill and wide receiver duo AJ Brown and Corey Davis. However, the problem with the Titans, they have the 5th worst defense in the NFL at the moment. Looking at their opponents, the Baltimore Ravens, they have won 2 Super Bowls, with their last coming in 2012. Head coach John Harbaugh is 13 years deep into his tenure at Baltimore, one of which brought him the Super Bowl in 2012 and 9 playoff appearances. Very good. Lamar Jackson, reigning MVP at the moment, failed to hit the mark this season, I'd say, but he has still been strong. But nowhere near where he was last season. Rookie running back J.K. Dobbins ran a 72-yard touchdown that was absolutely beautiful against the Bengals as well. And the Ravens are the only franchise to have played in multiple Super Bowls and to have never lost one. Which, what a stat that is. Could they make it this year again? But as for this one, good offense against a poor defense. Ravens are also strong in defense as well, I'd say, but I think the Ravens should fully have this one, so I'm putting the Ravens to go through and the Titans going out in the wild cards.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Well, this is the 4th seed Tennessee Titans against 5th seed Baltimore Ravens. I'm not going to go into as much detail as you, Nathan, but I'm just going to have a look at their stats for recent results. Okay, out of the last, 4 results, the Tennessee Titans have won 3 out of their last 4, last up beating Houston 41-38, so a pretty close game that last time out, whereas the Baltimore Ravens have actually won 5 in a row, I should say. Last defeat was against Pittsburgh back on the 2nd of December, so Baltimore in fine form. However, I'm going to go with Tennessee in this one. I think the Titans will actually win through. Moving on to the first fixture in the NFC, we have Washington against Tampa Bay. And of course, Tampa Bay is where the Super Bowl is going to be held this season. Washington, they're called Washington these days, no longer called the Redskins, of course. Lots of controversy about that, but we won't go into that now. But Tampa Bay, of course, have got the oldest swinger in town in Tom Brady. I'm not sure, has he been in 9 Super Bowls?
Yeah,
something like that, winning 6 and losing 3, or winning 3 and losing 3.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the exact stats there, but Tampa Bay recently, let's have a quick look at their recent form, winning their last 4 fixtures, beating the Atlanta Falcons last time out 44-27, whereas Washington have won 2 of their last 4 matches. Philadelphia Eagles with their last victory, which is 20-14. Tampa Bay are going to be putting out all the stops for this one. They'll want to be in the Super Bowl for, in their hometown. So I think Tampa Bay are going to come through in this fixture.
Indeed, yeah. Tampa Bay definitely going to want to play that Super Bowl game at home at the Raymond James Stadium. But the question is, will it happen? Yeah, they've won one Super Bowl last in 2002 as well. Got Tom Brady at the helm, still going strong there since he's been in the league since 2001 or 2003. Something completely ridiculous. And yeah, media hype still hasn't died down since he moved from the Patriots to the Buccaneers. Of course, they're all still talking about him. Can he still do it?
Yeah, and the Bucs, of course, haven't been in the playoff picture for about 13 years now.
Oh no, something ridiculous. Bearing in mind that he hasn't been peak Tom Brady this season, but he's still been performing well. If they can improve elements here and there, then I think they could start to turn into a force. They have lost 3 games at home this season against the Saints, the Rams and the Chiefs, and they had a really shocking loss to the Saints in week 1 as well, may I mention.
Defensively, though, they've been pretty sound this season, haven't they, Tampa?
Yeah, they have been pretty sound. It's just shoring up there completely. There's just things leaking through often. Looking at the Washington football team, they've won 3 Super Bowls, haven't won one since 1991. Chase Young, former Rookie of the Year, he's going to be strong in defence. Question is, will Tom Brady be able to break through that and try and not get sacked? And the Redskins, they've actually won only 3 games at home this season, unsurprising really with the state of their stadium. If you look at it, the pitch is terrible and the ground is terrible itself. But surely Tampa Bay have got to win this. I'm going for a Tampa Bay win. Next up, we have the joint record holders of the most Super Bowl wins, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and finally they have got into playoffs. The Cleveland Browns, of course. Right, let's start with Pittsburgh. Yep, they got 6 Super Bowls. Steelers defense been superb all season. They run by the motto, of course, defense wins championships. But then again, can they turn it into good offense as well? They haven't been at a Super Bowl though since 2010, after losing to the Packers, of course, in the Super Bowl. And they had a terrible end to this season, losing 3 in a row to Washington, which was their only loss at home this season as well. They could have gone unbeaten at Heinz Field. Bengals, and then they were destroyed by the Bills as well, and lost to the Browns on the final day of the season, but they were resting players. As for the Cleveland Browns, they've defied all expectations this season. 11 wins, 5 losses. It's their first playoff appearance since 2002 in 19 years. Haven't reached the AFC Championship game since 1970, which is absolutely mental. Really shoring up in the quarterback role after just wasting years of draft picks. Got a good man in charge there as well, starting to improve. But the question is, will they beat the Steelers? No, I think they'll go out in the wild card, so I'm going to say Steelers win. Surely they got to go through.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the Steelers are going to go through as well. Just have a quick look at the Steelers stats. They're actually in very poor form going into these playoffs. They actually lost against Washington, Buffalo, Cincinnati Bengals, and recently the Cleveland Browns.
Well, they did rest players.
Yeah, is it Roethlisberger, their quarterback, of course, was rested. I think he should be back for this playoff fixture. So it was only 24-22 with a weakened offense there. So I fully expect Pittsburgh to come through this one. Cleveland as well. They in different form, winning 2 and losing 2 of their last 4. Of course, they beat Pittsburgh, losing against New York. The Giants winning against the Giants.
I thought you were going to say
they lost against
New York.
Yeah, Jets and Giants, and losing against the Ravens as well, who you've got to beat Tennessee. So I fully expect Pittsburgh to go through in this fixture.
Yeah, speaking about the Browns as well, Cleveland is often known as the factory of sadness for sport in America, but it's safe to say that title is moving to New York now.
Basketball.
Baseball. Giants and Jets, terrible.
Yeah.
Can't get any worse there.
Anyway, heading back over to the NFC National Football Conference, of course, we've got Seattle against the LA Rams. Now, this is one of the tougher ones for me to pick. LA Rams. Let's have a look how stats-wise they've been doing recently. In the last 6 fixtures, they've actually lost 3 of them and won 3 as well. Last time out, they beat the Cardinals 18-7 before back-to-back defeats against Seattle and New York Jets. And looking at the Seahawks, beating the 49ers, the Rams, of course, beating
Very
recently,
comfortably as well, 29.
That's right, and Washington and New York Jets. So on a bit of a roll, Seattle, and that's why I'm actually going to go for the Seahawks in this one. Comfortable victory over the Rams.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The Rams only won the Super Bowl, and that was when they were in St. Louis as well, all the way back in 1999, I believe, all those years back. They've been alright, not so good away form either, and the offense I find is quite inconsistent and could be improved because they are very quarterback reliant. If they can improve on the wide receivers and on the running backs as well, then maybe they could look a lot better. They are really good defensively, but Seattle should just walk through them. And yeah, I'm going for a Seattle win in this one. Heading back over to the AFC, the last wildcard game of the AFC, of course, is between the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Bills never won a Super Bowl, which surprises me with when...
I think they've got to the final a few times, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got to the final, I believe, last time in 1993. Quite a good historic side, but it still surprises me how they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. Sean McDermott is a strong candidate for Coach of the Year. However, I think someone else who I'll get onto later in the video should win it. Especially, you'll probably understand one of the two candidates it could be. Fine, he's done absolute wonders with the Buffalo team, overseeing a sharp improvement in the plays of the quarterbacks as well. And the Colts, they've had a very good defense all season with Darius Leonard bursting on the scene to win Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2018 after being a second-round pick. That is absolutely incredible for a second-round pick. And despite missing 2 games, he still racked up 109 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. Absolutely insane. So just thinking about that now, I don't know, I want Buffalo to do well. I think they're going to do it. I think they'll just ease past the Colts slightly, and I'm going to go for a Bills victory in this one.
Well, I think Buffalo are actually going to smash Indianapolis. A recent form. I think they started off the season quite slowly, Buffalo, but they've been an absolute train recently. Stats-wise, Buffalo have won their last, 6-7 fixtures now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 fixtures. Last time they lost was back on the 15th of November against Arizona. So, having a very good season, Buffalo. Whereas Indianapolis Colts recently, they've lost twice in their last 6 fixtures. I think, the offense of the Buffalo, they are quite strong, the Colts in defence, but I fully expect Buffalo to get through in this fixture. Now, heading back over to the NFC, we've got the final fixture of the wildcard picks, and that's between New Orleans against Chicago. Now, Chicago, I think they're the lowest rank or seeded team in the NFC in this wildcard games, coming against New Orleans, who are second. New Orleans, only 2 defeats in their last 12 fixtures. Last couple of games have seen them smashing Carolina Panthers 33-7 and beating Minnesota in a massive score game of 52-33. Huge. Whereas Chicago Bears, who've done well to get to the playoffs this season, I think lost last time out in a bit of a derby there between themselves and Green Bay, where they were on the wrong end of a 35-16 defeat, but they did get a good result against Jacksonville Jaguars 41-17 prior to that fixture. But I think the Saints are going to ease past Chicago in this one, and I fully think I think they'll march on it into the next round, into the divisional round fixture.
Interesting fact about the Chicago Bears this season: they have actually lost every single game at home to all their opponents in NFC North this season. That's Packers, Vikings and Lions, whereas they did beat the Lions and the Vikings away from home this season, which is alright for them, but that's still shocking in my eyes. New Orleans still relying on a 42-year-old nearly Drew Brees in their side. He's still throwing those yards, he's still playing really well. Offense still looks good there, so New Orleans should easily walk through. New Orleans victory. Next up, we're going to go on to the first divisional match between Kansas City Chiefs, the current Super Bowl champions, of course, and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Kansas City winning their second Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years last season. Andy Reid with an absolute masterclass this season. Lots of cheeseburgers at it, I imagine. What a guy he is. And then Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest young quarterbacks we've seen in a while, reigning Super Bowl MVP of last season, finished the year second in passing yards. He's had another great season this year. They've only lost 2 games all season, I believe, as well, which is the best record in the whole of the NFL. Baltimore Ravens should put up a fight in this one, but it's Kansas City. I fully expect them to go through. It's going to be a battle of the 2 MVP quarterbacks in Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes will come out on top. Kansas City for the win.
Of course, I've got Kansas City against Tennessee Titans in this one. Of course, Kansas City with the experience from last year's Super Bowl victory, then you should see victory against the Titans in this one. The Titans should push them all the way, but I think the superiority will shine through, and the class of Kansas City will march through to the conference championship. So I'm going to go for a Kansas City victory in this one. Moving over to the NFC, we've got Green Bay, of course, who are top seeds in the NFC, coming up against the lowest rank of the winners of the wildcard matches. That will be Tampa Bay in my eyes. Massive game, this one. Tampa Bay did beat Green Bay early in the season, but that was at Tampa Bay, and that
was a very poor performance they had from Green Bay as well.
Probably their worst performance of the season, and this is going to be up in Green Bay, so this will suit the Packers, who you are a fan of, aren't you, Nathan? Well, sometimes, yes. So will this guy, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, will he come through against the Bucks? Will he come through against the old man of the NFL?
Yeah, it's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I don't think so. I'm actually going to go for another victory to Tampa Bay in this one, even though it is at Lambeau Field and everything looks to be pointing towards a Green Bay victory. But I think they've got a little bit of the Indian side over them this season, Tampa Bay, even though Green Bay's record has been far superior. But I'm going to stick my neck out, and I'm going to go for a Tampa Bay win in this fixture of the round for me.
Yeah, speaking about that Tampa Bay game earlier in the season, I'd actually say that was Matt LaFleur's worst performance as Green Bay coach. Of course, it's his second season in charge this year after taking over from that abysmal Mike McCarthy season in 2018. But this season, both Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, of course, have been absolutely breathtaking. Probably the best offense this season. That's my opinion anyway. I know it's a little bit biased, but Rodgers finished the regular season of 372 of 526 passing from 4,299 yards. Ridiculous. And giving 48 touchdowns from that. That's just phenomenal. Surely that's got to be knocking on the door for some records there. And Devontae Adams, 115 catches for 1,374 yards. And what can we say about Aaron Rodgers? I believe he's got the highest rushing yards in the league this season. But
wow, and it's normally his arm that does the business.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Green Bay never usually play running ball, so it goes to show that they have had an absolutely phenomenal season, considering they are up there with the running yards this year. But the Green Bay defense, it can be a little bit inconsistent at times, but if they show up in the playoffs, pundits think it could all be over this season. I think that's going to happen, and I am going for a Packers victory in this one. Moving on back over to the AFC, we have got the Steelers versus the Bills. Now, the Bills, they're going to really want to fight to get in that AFC Championship game, whereas the Steelers, they're just going to want to keep adding to their records that they've got by reaching these championship games, maybe getting some records, Super Bowls and all that. But just the Steelers with their defence, I think they're really going to shut up shop at back. And the Bills, I just don't think they're going to get through that. As the Steelers keep saying, a strong defence keeps winning championships. I think that Steelers defence is going to do something in this one. Steelers are going to win.
Wow, difference of opinion here. Pittsburgh against Buffalo. Really excited for this match as well. If they both make it this far, I think they will. But I'm going to go for a Buffalo Bills win in this one. I think their offence has been superb recently. Pittsburgh, okay, defensively fantastic, but I think Buffalo their offense is going to win this one, so I can see them getting through to the conference championship. So moving back over to the NFC, we have Seattle against New Orleans, probably the least one I'm looking forward to out of these 4 games. I think Seattle, it's going to be a close one, but I think Seattle will just come through this one, narrowly beating the Saints in this one. And I know a couple of Saints fans, but sorry to my mates there. But yeah, Seattle are going to win this one.
Well, this is probably the most difficult one to predict out of all these games, aside from Packers Tampa Bay. But then again, it's just a question of who turns up on the day. But this one, it's going to be a fourth quarter, I reckon. It's going to go all the way to the wire. It's Drew Brees and his experience that sticks out to me, but I think Seattle will just narrowly edge through with their defense and their offensive talents as well. They're great on both sides. I mean, Russell Wilson in MVP form, and the likes of Jamal Adams as well, with his tone-setting leadership skills. It's going to be Seattle, I think. Anyway, moving on to the AFC Conference Final game. I have gone for Kansas City Chiefs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not even going to say anything for this one because I think they're going to do it and they're going to completely overwhelm their opponent. Kansas City Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl yet again.
Yeah, no
other explanation.
Exactly the same for me. I think Kansas City, the experience of last year, the superb players that they have got. I think Buffalo are going to put up a fight, but defensively, I don't think they can cope with this Kansas City offense. So
they won't put up with Mahomes. No, definitely not.
No, so I'm going for a Kansas City to reach the Super Bowl in Tampa. And over in the NFC Championship, we got on my side of the bracket Tampa Bay. Slightly fortunate to get there, I think, against Green Bay. They're coming up against Seattle in that conference championship. And I think Tampa Bay, with their hometown in sight, I think they're going to reach the final or the Super Bowl. So I'm going for a Tampa Bay victory against Seattle in this one.
Interesting. Well, I've actually got Packers versus Seattle in this one. I think this is going to be tight. The question I keep on saying is, will the Packers defense turn up once again? But the Seattle Seahawks, they've only missed out on the playoffs in just 4 of the last 18 seasons. Even more impressive with the Packers than that. I think it's only been twice. But the Packers, they've been knocking on the door for the Super Bowl for a while now. They haven't been there since 2010. LaFleur in his second year in charge. I think he's just going to do it.
Is Rodgers coming to the end of his career as well? Could he do it this season?
He's slowly getting there. I believe the Packers are aiming to phase him out slowly with them drafting Caleb Love this year. I think he was drafted in the first few rounds as a quarterback. So I'm going to go for Packers. They're going to reach the Super Bowl at last.
Fantastic.
Here we go.
So, Super Bowl. Do you want to go first with yours then, Nathan?
My Super Bowl is the Chiefs versus the Packers. What a game this is going to be if it happens, guys. Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. 2 of the top coaches in the league going at it in Matt LaFleur and Andy Reid, of course, 2 Coach of the Year candidates. This is going to be tight. It depends if the Packers... really, it's going to be which defence turns up better. I think the Packers might just do it. I gotta be biased, guys.
You are putting on your Packers hat for this one, then. Yeah,
I'm going to put
the lucky hat.
I'm going to put the lucky hat, of course, as I keep saying in this one. But yeah, if there's going to be a year for the Packers to win the Super Bowl within the next 10 years, it is going to be this one. I am going for the Packers to win the Super Bowl. It is coming home to Titletown. There we go.
Well, I'm going to go for an NFC team as well. I think Tampa Bay in their hometown are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, even though that side is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the quarterback as well. But I'm going to go for a Tampa Bay win to win the 2020-2021 Super Bowl.
Interesting.
Fantastic. And before we go, Nathan, I just want to go through the odds on these teams as well. Favourites, according to William Herbert bookmakers in the UK, is the Kansas City Chiefs at 2-1. You've gone for the Green Bay Packers, who are at 5-1. I've gone for, I think it's the 6th favourite team, 11-1, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We've got the likes of the Ravens at 10-1, Saints at 15-2, Buffalo Bills at 7-1. Bills offensively fantastic. Seahawks at 14-1, Steelers 25-1. And down at 100 to 1, we've got Washington football team and the Chicago Bears. Sandwich in between them, we've got the Rams at 40 to 1, Colts at 50 to 1, and the Cleveland Browns at 66 to 1. Fantastic. You're going for
Packers,
and I'm going for Tampa Bay, the Bucks. First time they've been there in absolutely ages. I was down in Florida in the early 2000s in a bar watching the Bucks losing a game. That's fantastic. So,
but the question is, we got to add on in addition to that is who is going to be your Super Bowl MVP?
It's got to be Brady, hasn't it? Oldest swinger in town. Couple of touchdowns, or passing touchdowns, and yourself.
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be between Mahomes and Rodgers. I think Rodgers is gonna have a good game, but I think they're gonna surprise the Chiefs and go and keep playing it to Aaron Jones. So I am going for Aaron Jones Aaron Jones Super Bowl MVP.
Fantastic. So that concludes our predictions for the 2020-2021 playoff brackets and Super Bowl winners. Next time we're going to be back to the Premier League predictions. Of course, if you're not already a subscriber, remember to subscribe, smash, as they say, that like button, share, tell your friends, tell your family, make sure you come back to this channel and we'll provide the predictions for you. Before we go though, Nathan, is there anything you'd like to add?
Search my channel, link in the description below. Cardiff City versus Nottingham Forest live stream on Saturday. Make sure you're there, guys.
Fantastic. Thanks for watching as always, guys. But for now, we'll bid you farewell and we'll see you all in the next video.